Hello and welcome to the last Airbender vlogs. We are talking about episode 2, The Avatar Returns. And the funny thing is, on the last one I was saying how the first episode, while I liked it, it wasn't like, gripping me like I had to see the next episode. I wanted to see it, but I didn't have to see it. This is the episode where that happens. This is the episode where I thought it really kind of gets fun, and you sort of see the cool things they can do with the powers, and then the story sort of gets sort of thick and stuff like that. So, this one was a lot of fun. If you hear thunder, by the way, it's raining. What grabbed me about it, too, is that I was sort of saying before, like, the humor was a little off, and in some scenes it still kind of is, and it's a little weird and awkward, but what I like about it a lot is that the kid characters are still essentially kids, and like this Aang character, the avatar in it, it's extremely likable, and I like that they make him very wide-eyed, very innocent and stuff, and he knows there's this responsibility, but he's not. So far, it doesn't seem like he's straight up running away from it because he seems to have good ethics and good morals, and he wants to help out. The other thing, too, a character that when I first saw him, I'm like, oh, jeez, I hope this kid isn't annoying, and that's the brother character. And he steps up in this episode, too. There's a scene where, like, this giant submarine is coming right at him, and he's standing his ground on the village, and he's terrifying. This thing is gonna come, it's gonna crush him, but the snow moves him back so he doesn't quite get crushed. Strategically not a smart move, but I really like the fact that he was going to stick there, he was going to stand his ground. And even when he tries to fight the Prince character and comedically sort of gets his ass handed to him, it shows he really does have sort of this brave side that, he's a goof up and he's a complainer, but he will stand up for him. So I really like that. I thought that was really cool. It sort of gives him much more likability instead of just being like, just sort of a comic relief. So I really like that a lot. And this one we finally get some of the action coming through. This is where the Avatar he's captured by the prince and he has to escape. And this show is so good, and this I very much connect to sort of like that Japanese side where they can really come up with creative fight sequences. And just some great scenes of, just him in a room and the Fire Prince and the Avatar with his wind bending, what they can do to one another. Just the objects in the room, just using like the mattress from the bed slamming against him and taking him and throwing him up and down and using the fire and the wind to put out the fire and stuff. A lot of fun, a lot of creativity. And I like the fact the quest has sort of begun too, with the sister and the brother gonna find the Avatar. It looks like they're going to sort of figure out what his backstory is as well, and they're going to teach her how to waterbend, and then he's going to sort of discover his true potential. Now it seems like it's going, and part of that could very well be because maybe there is just something you need an hour, because like before I was talking about shows like Lost and Game of Thrones and stuff that, on the first episode they get you hooked, but they had an hour. And now that these two episodes are combined together, I do really want to see the next episode and I want to know what's going to happen. Even if I didn't have to do these vlogs, I would really want to know what's going to happen next. And again, I like the fact that even by the end of this, the kid, the Avatar, sort of knows this weight now that he has to carry, and he has this great responsibility, but he still wants to travel to see the great sights and goof off. And I like how in the opening, it seems like they set the tone pretty well in this opening too. I don't know if the intros change each time, but the sister is giving the backstory of everything that's going on, and she talks about Aang, the great last Airbender, who I'm sure is going to be our hero, but kind of has a bit of learning to do. And just seeing him laughing while on that ball of air and then slamming into a wall, I mean, that's a very likable character, and that's a character that you want to follow because he isn't totally absent-minded. He's not just a goofball. That he's a kid, and he acts very much like a kid, and I like that a lot. I like the fact that these are, even the prince is still very much a teenager, and I really like the fact that they have them do very adult stuff, very grown-up stuff, but they still acknowledge their age. And they act like people of that age being forced to go into tough situations where they're going to be really challenged. And I'm liking that a lot. Remind me a little bit of the Hunger Games, where if I was to watch this, if this was to be given to me as, hey, this is an adult show, I might have a few more issues with it, but the fact that it's marketed towards kids, and a lot of people are going to say, oh, what, there shouldn't be a difference, kids should be treated as adults. No, there is a difference, but kids should not always be talked down to, and their intelligence shouldn't be insulted. It should be addressed at the proper stage of their age that they're at. And I think this show does that, and it does actually... It's a very good balance of sort of this good action, this good drama, but sort of this lighthearted comedy that comes from their age and what they're being put into. So I like that a lot. Again, not all the comedy works, but that's nitpicking. You know, that's just sort of the trade-off you do with kid shows. So, episode 2 has gotten really fun, and it's nice to see the buffalo finally fly, and again, like, the angles that they get, again, I sort of connect this to the Japanese element of the animation. There's a scene where, like, Aang is hanging off the submarine, or he's almost gonna fall off, and he sort of swings like this, trying to get his balance back, and you really sort of feel it. You kind of go, ee, like that, come on, lean back, lean back. Something about the angles that they get in this style of animation, even though I know technically it's American animation, but they're borrowing a lot from Japanese animation, and they just get really good angles. A lot of the angles inside the ship, anytime they go inside the ship, there's always going to be great angles. I don't know why the best angles are in that ship, but they always get some really great ones, some great Dutch angles, wide angles, all sorts of great stuff, and it really gives you a sense like you're really there. More than just creating a world, it creates, you know, it creates a room. I know it sounds strange, but there's something to creating a world and also creating a room. And you can believe you're in a world, but not necessarily in the room, and vice versa. So I like the fact they seem to have both of them down. They have this world down, and they also have the very simple element of just being, you know, in a room. And I know it sounds really, really strange, but you'd be surprised how many people can't pull that off. You know, a lot of Lord of the Rings, you know, a lot of the time it's like, okay, well, here's Middle-earth, and everything is so incredible, so fantastic, that you kind of have a hard time believing you're really there. Or the Lucas stuff, the George Lucas prequels and stuff, it fell victim to that a lot. There's just too much going on. And I thought they did a good job giving me this idea of space. Again, just the fight that they had with the Firebender Prince and the Airbender in that room. You really felt like those materials, you know, were physically hitting that guy, and it made the action so much more enjoyable and, you know, for lack of a better word, realistic. Like you were there experiencing it and watching it. So I like that. I like that it really has the respect for its environment and its space. That's probably what I'm looking for. Environment and space are the words I'm looking for. So episode 2 I like a great deal, and I can't wait to see where it goes from now that, like, the adventure is really starting. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. I don't know why the brother sent the Airbender away if he was probably going to be the only thing to defend him against the fire people, but whatever. He came back. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the next episode. Second one was really good, and I'm hyped, man. I want to see where it goes.